On this Memorial Day, over 175,000 Americans are fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan. We are a nation at war. But for more than 3,800 men and women, the war has already ended in the most tragic possible way. Many have been laid to rest just a couple of miles from here in our capital's most sacred monument to bravery and sacrifice, Arlington. Here lie more than 290,000 Americans who have brought honor to their country. And ironically, this all began when Americans turned against each other. The Civil War. 1861, a political crisis became a raging monster, the bloodiest conflict in American history. By war's end, over 16,000 soldiers had been buried at Arlington, many without recognition or ceremony in shallow graves with crude wooden markers. In sight of the Capitol, Arlington was a fearsome place. It was called the Field of the Dead. Great efforts were made after the war to make Arlington worthy of those laid to rest there. May 30th became Decoration Day, and it was promised that no neglect nor ravages of time will testify that we have forgotten as a people the cost of a free and undivided republic. Over time, that promise was kept. Through the Spanish-American War, World Wars I and II, Korea and Vietnam, Arlington became a spacious and beautiful hallowed ground. It is now 624 acres, sheltering over 250,000 lovingly tended graves. Each Memorial Day, an Army battalion places a flag next to every single headstone. Here lies the heroes of a grateful nation, together with their closest loved ones, side by side. They come from the Army and Navy, the Marines, the Air Force, and Coast Guard. Regardless of their rank or fame, Arlington shelters them all. But over 4,700 buried can be identified only by the tomb of the unknown soldier. Forever anonymous, they are tended day and night by an elite honor guard. Every president since Lincoln has come to Arlington, and two are laid to rest here, William Howard Taft and John F. Kennedy, saluted by the eternal flame. Today, over 24 funerals are held here daily. Rifle salutes frequently echo over the hills of Arlington. Section 60, Arlington's somber frontier, where the line of fresh graves advances daily. Many of those killed in Iraq and Afghanistan. Some are too new for gravestones, but freshly adorned with fond mementos. There are constant visitors in all kinds of weather. Parents, children, friends, wives, and sweethearts.
That our children look at that and say, courage is a good thing. Sacrifice is a good thing.
The medal represents what the country has always stood for. Sacrifice. We wouldn't be here if somebody hadn't sacrificed for us before we got here.
We're a free country. And why are we? Because a lot of people, black, white, yellow, gave their lives so that you and I could live free. Huh? Simple as that.
It didn't matter where you were from or who you were. We looked out for one another. And that same thing can apply to the United States of America. And every citizen, take care of one another.
We must supersede the legacy of those great men. We must not only honor them, but we must honor them the right way. It means to remember them, to give thanks for them, to be grateful for them, and then to build on the foundation that they have given to us. That means if these men were valiant men, if they were courageous men, if ordinary men were able to rise to extraordinary manly sacrifice, this generation must go beyond that. If those men were willing to be defenders of women and children, this generation must go beyond that. If those men were willing to stand for family, if they believed they were fighting for an America which was conceived in liberty and given to them by the God of Scriptures, we must embrace that legacy and go beyond it. In order for us to honor the men of the past, we must take what they've given us and we must say, thank you, our fathers, and now we press on. We press on as a nation, we press on as families, we press on as individuals, and we will do something with what you've given to us.